Is
And your social?
social.
Race, ethnicity?
I'm black.
Okay. And who does the child live with?
Her dad, her dad and stepmother.
All right. What's the child's name?
Michaela.
And how are you spelling that? The home has been exposed to, tested positive for, or is currently showing signs of COVID?
No, I don't know about that.
Okay. All right. So what's going on?
Okay, I have a couple questions real quick. If someone makes false statements to CPS, who do you report? Can you report it to CPS?
Well, no. CPS does not handle that. That would be something that you would need to speak to an attorney about, because we can't divulge reporters.
No. Okay, if CPS took my rights away because of false statements, I can't tell CPS the truth?
Yes, you can tell them the truth, but we can't charge nobody for false statements.
Oh, no. That's not what I'm asking. Okay, let's break it down. If someone made false statements to CPS and took my child custody rights away, am I able, if they were do a proper investigation, aren't they supposed to ask me? Aren't they supposed to ask me?
Investigation, yeah.
Okay, so if they didn't ask me what was going on with the and didn't get my part of the story, then don't they need to do an investigation to get my part of the story?
Generally, yeah, that's how it works. I don't know. We're not the CPS office.
Okay.
So you would actually need to speak to your caseworker.
I don't have one. That I need one.
Right, but we can't.
Right, but
there has to be current abuse or neglect occurring.
Okay, so if someone took my child custody rights away out of false statements, and I don't have access to my child, and and my child is getting neglected, and they went through CPS.
We haven't got that far yet.
Okay, well,
what I'm telling you is that if they took your child away and terminated your rights, you need to get a family attorney to handle that.
They did it through CPS. So
right,
okay. Let me do the report. Okay. I am getting exploited. Okay. Or I'm getting exploited, and my daughter. In Itasca, there were multiple people making false statements. Okay, James Hastings, I explained that to James Hastings, a caseworker in Itasca. Okay, I explained to him that I don't know why so many people were making false statements about my daughter as well as myself, and there were proof, and I was with police reports of what I was saying. So I attributed to I was doing something online, a little thing online, and it was like, I had a lot of attention. I didn't know why all these things were going on. So anyway, I explained to James that the false statements were being made. Even police made false statements. They said I assaulted an officer and evaded arrest April 28th of 2018. So he proceeded to take my child custody rights away. And even though I told him that it was on camera footage, and the police lied on me. Okay. So
are there any current abuse or neglect occurring?
Can I tell you about the report? I don't know why people keep
interrupting. Everything you're telling me is past. I can't do anything about that.
Ma'am, what's your name? What's your name?
If you have a case complaint.
You don't know what I'm calling about, ma'am? You don't know what I'm calling about?
Ma'am, I can't. Ma'am, you're complaining about how your case was handled.
No, let me finish telling you. It's like you're tampering with evidence, ma'am. Let me finish telling you, and then we can go from there. I want to be able to do the report in peace. Can I do that without getting interrupted? I get interrupted so many times, and people won't let me establish the situation and get clarity.
I can't do anything about the
I'm not asking you.
What's going on now?
What's your name again?
My name is Michelle.
Okay. Do you have an employee ID?
5125.
What?
My worker ID is 5125.
Okay. Well, this is vital, ma'am. Let me finish telling you. This is.
You need to let me speak, ma'am. I'm trying to tell you. I cannot do anything about the past. If you have a case complaint about the way your case was handled, I can give you a phone number for that.
No, ma'am. I want to be able to finish telling you. I want to be able to tell you because it's a state jail felony to make false statements to CPS. And I want to be able to tell you what the false statements that were made because I didn't get an investigator.
But we can't.
I didn't finish telling you, ma'am. I can't finish I don't know why you won't let me finish talking, ma'am. Can you please let me finish talking?
Ma'am, this is not the place for those complaints. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, well, just let me finish talking, and then we can get to because I have questions. So
Okay,
James Hastings made false statements, even though I had the false arrest, and he made false statements.
I don't know who James Hastings is.
He's out of Hillsboro, Texas. He's a caseworker.
Okay, so you need to speak with them.
I haven't finished talking, ma'am, explaining what happened. I think James.
Do you any good, ma'am?
Okay, well, let me finish talking, ma'am. This is CPS, and I'd like to be able to express what's going on because
this is not CPS, ma'am. This is statewide intake. We are not CPS.
Okay, well, I would like to be able, since I haven't been treated fairly with being able to make reports, I would like to be able to report what's going on. So anyway, after I had the false arrest and everything, James Hastings, I wasn't allowed to go to court. I think James Hastings took bribes because I didn't get an attorney and I wasn't allowed to go to court. And making false statements with a CPS is a state jail felony, and I should be able to have the right to report to CPS.
That's why I'm trying to give you the phone number to do that.
Well, here, I would like to let me finish what I'm saying, and then we can go from there. This is your job. So let me finish what I'm saying, and then we can go from there. I just want some education and feedback. So James Hastings made some false statements like he took bribes to take my child custody rights away and denied me an attorney and denied me to go to court and took my child custody rights away. So that in the Texas, I thought that it was a requirement to give someone an attorney if their child custody rights were at stake. So that's evidence that I'm getting railroaded. But for some reason, I made
nothing about that.
I know, ma'am. I know. I have questions, ma'am. I have questions. So
ask your questions. Please do not continue to tell me about the past. I'm sorry, I can't do anything about that. I can give you a case complaint phone number. These are the people you need to tell all that stuff to.
Well, I think that CPS, ma'am, I don't know why I don't get anything resolved on these calls because I went in person trying to report that to CPS and they wouldn't take it. And also, hold on, ma'am. I don't know why people won't let me talk. Everywhere I go, people will not let me finish talking.
Can you just stop for a moment? Ma'am, can you just stop for a moment? I appreciate your concerns. I really do.
But I went to CPS in person trying to get it resolved, and they were like covering for it, ma'am. I made 20 different reports, and I went in person.
That's why I'm telling you need to call the Office of Consumer Affairs. They're the ones that investigate cases that weren't handled appropriately.
Okay, but I don't understand why they won't let me have access to the programs to get my child custody rights back or give me a caseworker, ma'am. Do you think maybe they're corrupt?
CPS,
why are you yelling at me, ma'am? Well, I don't know why people act like this on my phone. Why are you yelling at me? I mean, this isn't very...
Because you're not letting me speak, ma'am.
I'm the one making the report, and you won't let me speak and tell you that there's corruption.
We can't do anything here.
I don't understand why, if I'm trying to make a report that there's corruption on my case to CPS, why they intervene in it.
We don't do that here.
Okay, well, I told the CPS worker that stepmom has had bruises on my daughter and is emotionally abusive. And I still stand behind that, and there's neglect.
Tell me about the bruise. Tell me about the bruise.
They were a long time ago, but there was a history of abuse that CPS is ignoring, and I don't know why they would do that. So 924.
I'm going to give you a phone number.
Well, I'm telling you. Let me tell you about the abuse. Let me tell. I don't. It's a crime, ma'am. It's a crime to. I'm telling you about the child abuse.
You're constantly cutting me off. The phone number for Office of Consumer Affairs is.
I'm reporting child abuse. Are you covering for the child abuse, ma'am? Let me tell you what stepmom did. You said that you. Let me tell you about the past and the current. I don't know. It's like I'm not talking to the real people because they argue and cover for crimes. I've already reported this. But stepmom in September.
What's happening now? I'm going to disconnect the call. You can tell me what's happening now.
I am. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to lead up to all of the evidence. Ma'am, stop being like that.
I don't need the evidence, ma'am. That's for CPS. And
I'm reporting child abuse. What do you mean you don't need evidence?
That's not what we do here, ma'am.
You won't let me finish talking to tell you what I'm trying to express with the stepmom. Let me finish telling you. In September 24th of 2011, there was bruises. Then my daughter reported that there were... Hold on. Let me finish telling you. I'm leading up.
Goodbye. Have a nice day, ma'am.
And then you cannot. It's a crime. It is a crime to not to know about child abuse and not do reports on it. And I'm calling CPS. This is a crime, ma'am. You can't hear about child abuse and not report it in your CPS.
That's already been investigated.
No, it hasn't. I'm making more reports. And then in February of 2018, my daughter reported abuse. It hasn't been investigated. No one has ever gotten back to me or came to me with any reports. CPS won't give me any kind of services. I don't know why that's going on. So I call 1-800-252-5400, and this is statewide intake, and you won't let me tell you about the child abuse? So then the dad is like special needs because he had a heart attack. So he's not capable of taking care of her anyway. His mental capacity. He don't. The stepmom has power of attorney over him because his mental capacity is not on point because he had a heart attack. So she has power of attorney of him and taking care of him. But what I'm trying to.
Custody of the child?
I'm sorry?
Does he have custody of the child?
He does.
Okay, then father has the right to choose mother as the caregiver. He may not be able to care for her, but the child is with him and stepmother.
Okay, ma'am, I don't understand why I told you about the false statements that were being made and then my false arrest, and you're saying that dad is able to take care of daughter. Because if someone obtained my child custody, if someone obtained the child custody rights out of corruption, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If someone obtained the child custody rights out of corruption and stepmom is abusive, I don't know why you'd ignore that. And this is intake.
I'm not ignoring that.
Oh, okay. If you
would stop talking for 5 minutes. If you have complaints about how your previous case was handled, this is not the place for that. I will take the abuse stuff that you're concerned about. But concerns about bribery and all of that, you need to call Office of Consumer Affairs because they're the ones that investigate cases that weren't investigated properly. We are not CPS. We strictly do intakes here.
Okay, but my concern is...
If you have something to write with...
Oh, but here's my concern, ma'am. I want to make sure I get clarity. Because if CPS made false statements, why can't I give the correct information to CPS and they investigate?
We don't do that here.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand.
You need to contact...
Maybe, ma'am, I'm asking questions. I don't know why you would interrupt me. Can you finish letting me ask the questions? I'm just trying to get clarity.
Thank you for taking the time to participate in our survey. You will now be asked a few short questions about the call you just completed.
They hung up again.
Numbers on your telephone keypad to select your response.